This one's for you, Oneonta. The finale at home for the Oneonta Outlaws here in 2024. Welcome back to Oneonta Outlaws pregame. As always, my name is Colby Smith, and this Oneonta Outlaw team going to be coming in looking to get hot here over these last 3 games and go into Monday on a high note, because if you didn't see it earlier today, we announced it. It's official. Monday night, it's all going down in Little Falls. So stay locked in, stay ready, stay hungry. The Outlaws back in the postseason for the first time since 2022. As per usual, we're not able to stream at Mohawk Valley, so the only way to watch the live action going to be DiamondDawgs.com. Mohawk Valley, a great pay-per-view server, $9.99 per game. So just be warned and just be advised that you will be forced to be charged for that game on Monday. We will have updates on our social media pages, as like always when we travel to Mohawk Valley, Boonville, and Utica, where we're not able to stream from. So you can keep an eye out on Monday through those as well. But the Outlaws going to be hoping that they can go up there to Mohawk on Monday red hot here after this final weekend of the regular season. Tonight is the home finale, and got to give it to Outlaws owner Gary Lang. The fans, it's not a free night, but it's by donation only to the Outlaws nonprofit baseball club here in Oneonta. So the fans are packing in, everybody's excited, and everybody's ready to hopefully see an Oneonta win. It's been a minute since the Outlaws have taken down the Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs in the season series. Mohawk Valley currently leading 5-0-2, but Outlaws have come really close lately to trying to thwart this Mohawk Valley team. So we'll hope that tonight is finally the night in that sense. The last 2 meetings have been walk-offs, with the DiamondDawgs taking them both, and both were in Little Falls. As Monday, it was supposed to be the first part of a home-and-home here at Damaschke Field, and that game got postponed. So maybe things would have rolled out differently that night, but we're never going to know, because the rain came fast and heavy Monday afternoon, just as it did on Wednesday when we got postponed and then later canceled in that Wednesday night affair against the Glens Falls Dragons. But Oneonta coming off a 5-4 loss at Utica last night. 5 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning for the Blue Sox after the Outlaws had a 4-0 lead. The player who really showed up and showed out last night was none other than Kyle Pollock. Pollock with his final line on the evening, 1 for 2 with a run scored, and he was hit by 2 pitches, also took a strikeout. So he takes player of the game yesterday. So congratulations to KP on taking a nod for the first time yesterday. The Blue Sox, they're a team who's fighting for hopefully trying to slide up to the 4 spot and get a home playoff game. Was just talking about it with Outlaws assistant coach Josiah Azka after we did our pregame coaches interview today, but that's the only change that could possibly happen in the Eastern Division. 1, 2, and 3 are locked in, and then the Outlaws being 6 is locked in. But Watertown and Utica's currently 4, Watertown's currently 5, could flip-flop this weekend. So we'll keep you tuned on all that this weekend, as the Outlaws going to be in Glens Falls tomorrow, and then Sunday in Watertown going to conclude our regular season. But before we get any further here on our pregame show tonight, let's throw things down to our pregame player interview of the day with Outlaws infielder and since turned DH and EH this summer due to a shoulder injury, which you'll hear him talk about, Brendan Connolly. So Brendan Connolly coming up next here on the pregame show as we approach first pitch in the Outlaws 2024 home finale. Colby Smith, and I'm super excited to be joined today by my good friend, Brendan Connolly. Brendan, end of the season for this team. Tell me about your first season as being an Outlaw.
Yeah, it was awesome. We had a lot of fun. Sadly I got injured, so, I was only DHing most of the summer. But, I had a lot of fun, made a lot of friends. We played some good baseball. We've been on a little cold streak right now, but we're going to get this last win in front of the home crowd and get ready for playoffs.
And you mentioned that injury. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I banged it, probably the first 2 weeks I was here, my shoulder, and it ended up being a slight tear in my rotator cuff. So I haven't been able to throw this summer. I've been able to hit, so I've just been DHing a couple of the games. But, just being here, being with the guys, it's a lot of fun. And obviously getting ready to get back for school ball where I can get thrown again.
Well, and how frustrating was it for you to take that injury, and especially so early on?
Yeah, it was pretty frustrating. I was playing really good to start, and I just want to be out there. You always want to be out there playing with the guys. That's why you're here. And sitting some of the days because you can't throw, it gets to your head a little bit, but you just got to stay positive, stay upbeat, and yeah, just roll with it. So I've been having fun.
Well, besides staying positive and upbeat, is there anything that you've fine-tuned or changed mentally this summer with not being able to play the field?
Yeah, I think a lot in the at-bat, just my approach. Changing my approach a little bit, trying to be more of a mature hitter. It definitely is tough, but just it's a grind, and just try my best to stay with it.
What little tweaks or stylistic changes have you made to your at-bats?
Sitting one side of the plate mainly, definitely early in the count, and then when I get to 2 strikes, going no stride, and just trying to put the bat on the ball. But other than that, just try to keep it simple. Try to keep it simple, man. That's it.
Well, and do you feel like not being in there every day or only taking at bats has impacted your development anyway?
Yeah, it definitely has. I think the development part definitely comes with playing. The more you play, the more you'll develop. And, not being able to play, it has affected it a little bit. But, I played this game for a long time, so, I'm not going to let a minor injury, really change the course of my career.
Have you picked up any tips or tricks from other Outlaws in the locker room this summer?
Yeah, a lot of them. I know, like, Jacoby Dale, very mature hitter, great kid. Gotten really close with him. He's given me a lot of advice in the box, just sitting one side of the plate, what he looks for. A lot of the guys just, small talk, what they're thinking in the box, but the main thing is just to keep it simple.
Well, and how do you feel like you all have played off each other so well this summer and, learned from each other?
Yeah, I mean, we all learn from each other, and, once we get that chemistry going like we did back in June, we started to play really well. And once you get to know a lot of the guys and where they're from, you start playing together as a team, and I think we've done that very well, and we're looking to get the win tonight.
Well, and you mentioned playing very well there and finding that chemistry in the month of June. What do you feel like has kind of changed, if anything, in that respect here in July?
In July, it was just play, and we've gotten so many games rained out. So it definitely affects the mental side because you just want to be out there and playing, especially, when we need wins, especially this past week for our playoff seeding. But, we ended up making the playoffs for Monday, and we're just going to roll with it. I mean, we got a lot of baseball left to play here, I believe, and we're just going to try to do our best.
Well, and how exactly do you go about staying mentally ready, or what kind of things did you do all month on your off days to keep yourself into it?
Yeah, off days, you try not to think about baseball. You try to do other stuff. You definitely try to work out a lot, and then, hang with the guys. We play golf a lot, picked up golf, and just try to keep your mind off baseball a little bit, so that way you come back on the field ready to go.
Other than golf, what are some of the things that you've done in Oneonta or places you're frequenting in your time here?
Yeah, I mean, I get food a lot. We went to Hibachi the other night. We play poker all the time. So poker is definitely another good one.
And how do you feel like those little team activities like that have really helped this group or been different than any team you've been a part of before?
Yeah, no, it definitely bonds you, and that's where our chemistry comes in because, now you start to get to know these guys and what they're about, and, they really become friends, and, I've made some friends for life here.
Talking about lifelong friends, what are some of your favorite memories from this summer?
Some of my favorite memories, got to be on the golf course with all the guys. Definitely the late nights that we've spent playing poker, and then just being here every night. This is our lives. Every day we're at the fields, and just the small stuff, man. Joking with each other, having fun, and playing ball.
And you mentioned being at the field. Of course, home finale tonight. What's it been like playing at Damaschke Field this summer?
Oh, it's been awesome. All the fans, all the Outlaws fans, they give a great showing. Especially the 4th of July was a great night. It seems like the whole town comes to watch you, and it's just a real experience, so it's awesome.
And Brendan, I gotta ask, for any potential future players that may play here in Oneonta, what kind of advice do you have to them, and what kind of positive things do you have to say about the organization?
Yeah, I mean, this is the place to come. You're gonna make a lot of friends here, but more importantly, Keaton and Josiah are great coaches, and I think this is a great organization to play for. And playing in Oneonta is great. I mean, it's a town full of a lot of stuff. And it's a lot of fun.
Brendan, one last question here before I let you get back to it. You've mentioned a couple of times about the playoff game Monday in Mohawk. You have the chance to see this team one last time tonight before Monday. What's the mindset going into this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, going into this weekend, we want to play sharp baseball. We get to see Mohawk Valley tonight, so we definitely got to play our best game because we know that Monday is where it really counts against them. And, previously against Mohawk Valley, we've been right there with them. It feels like every game has been a one-run game against them, and it's always going to extras or the bottom of the ninth. So we just got to play the 9 hardest innings of baseball that we can. And I truly believe we can win.
Brendan, thank you so much for your time. Good luck tonight.
Thank you, Colby. Appreciate it.
A huge thank you to Brendan Connolly for dropping by our pregame show for that one this afternoon. It was our second time we've had Connolly on, and man, what a blast it is to always get a chance to talk to Brendan. Had an opportunity to hang out with him for a couple of innings in the dugout in Utica last night, and it's always nice. I mean, yeah, we all spend every day around each other and stuff here throughout the summer, but it's nice to have those, moments where just stop and talk about approach, talk about technique, and even get to know each other a little bit better, because I don't know about Brendan, but I certainly learned a few new things about him and his background last night, and maybe some of them will come up in the broadcast tonight. We'll see, but it was certainly a great time to get the opportunity to speak with him in the dugout in Utica yesterday, and so that's when it was like a daunting light bulb moment. Hey, let's get Brendan Connolly on our pregame show today. So thank you to Brendan. Thank you to all our Outlaw players who continue to take their time prior to games to drop by our pregame show. But now let's get into our coaches interview of the day with Outlaws assistant coach Josiah Aska, as again, the home finale tonight for the Outlaws coming up between the DiamondDawgs and your Outlaws. Colby Smith back here on another coach's interview with Outlaws assistant coach Josiah Aska. Coach, last night up in Utica, another tough loss. You want to tell me about what you saw?
It was a good game. In the 8th inning, things didn't go our way. Got a bad hop and kind of changed the whole dynamic of the game. But other than that, it was a lot of good things to take away from it.
Well, in talking about a bad hop changing a game, how frustrating or annoying is that to play such a clean, routine game like that and then have something like that happen?
It's tough, It's one of the things that happens in baseball. You got to control your controllables, and that's one of those things that we can't really control. But I will say we could have responded better after it, but it's hard. It's hard to stay up, and that's just one of the things that comes with playing the game more. You just learn how to deal with those random occurrences.
Well, and what did you see on that ball that, took that bad bounce? Was it a matter of the grass being too high or anything like that?
Just coming off the grass with a lot of topspin, and the ball, just caught that topspin, took that big hop, and it was one of those balls where if Carrera charged it, probably would have hit him in the chest, maybe hit him in the face, still bounced over him, and just backing up, there was really not much you could have did different there.
Well, and you mentioned positives from that game last night. You want to tell me about those?
A lot of strikes. Kemp came out, threw very, very well. Gilbert threw very well too. We competed in the zone. We made hitters hit pitches, swing at pitches that they necessarily didn't want to. Even with the calls the umpire was giving us, we still battled and threw even better pitches. We just played a really good game.
Well, and in terms of the pitching standpoint, how do you feel like the bullpen has looked lately, and how are you planning to stack things up for the weekend?
It's good. We just got to try to get through the 7th and 8th inning a little stronger. Those have been getting us in this past stretch, honestly, most of the July. For a week there, it was our starters coming out, and things, easier to deal with.
Well, and in terms of the struggles this month, what do you feel like specifically has to change here heading into the playoffs?
Win every pitch, or at least, try our best to win every pitch. We just gotta have better at bats. We gotta swing the bat harder, make more contact, put the ball in play a lot more, avoid those strikeouts. And if we do strike out, try to battle and see as many pitches as we possibly can, give the next guy a good chance.
Well, and in terms of the hitter standpoint, who do you feel like has made the most progress and really stepped up here recently?
A lot of different guys, A lot of different guys that started to struggle when we started to lose. are definitely picking it up. I'd say in this last week and a half, our losses have been better losses, whereas just one or two things kind of losing us the game. You know, it's tough to say one or two things, but it's just not a lot of mistakes on our end. It's just small things that take advantage of us.
Well, and how do you feel like, despite the losses, despite the struggles, this team has weathered the storm and still stayed positive?
We fight, you know. We play good baseball, and if something doesn't go our way, we try our best to keep pushing. You know, the whole year it's kind of been a umpire battle. You hate to blame it on the umps, but you know, it's like when we beat ourselves, make an error, then the umps start to take advantage of us too, and it does get tough, but we continue to battle.
Well, and what do you feel like this team's identity as a whole has been all season?
Just play hard. Play good baseball, and we go up there and we don't let people take us out of the game, and we play our game.
And Coach, last game in front of the Damaschke Field crowd here in 2024 tonight. What has the experience been like coaching here in front of the Oneonta crowd the last 2 years?
It's always fun. You know, it could be a little bit louder. We hear the lights a lot, but it's fun. It's a good crowd usually, and good turnout, and it's always a good thing to come out here and put a show on for the fans.
Coach, one last question before I let you get back to it. This Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs team officially confirmed after yesterday that that's going to be your opponent on Monday. How do you go about prepping for a game like this, knowing you got to turn around and play the same team again in a bigger stage Monday?
Keep doing what we're doing and limit our mistakes. Take advantage of theirs.
Coach, thank you so much for your time. Good luck tonight.
Sure.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there was certainly a lot to break down after yesterday's tough 5-4 loss up in Utica. Once again, your Outlaws. It was a great effort. There was a lot of positives to take away, as you heard from assistant coach Josiah Aska there, and that ball that bounced in front of Matt Carrera and rolled into shallow left and scored the 4th and 5th runs. You take that out of there, and the Outlaws would have had themselves a 4-3 victory. But you can't go back. A lot of these games this month have been lost on one play or lost in 1/2 inning. But you hope that can change here this home finale. It's the last home finale, or first home finale for the Outlaws in 2 years, that, you know, hasn't been rained out, because last year was supposed to be against Watertown Saturday, July 28th, but the game got canceled due to some rain showers, so that was that, and now the Outlaws back here get to put on a show for the home crowd in a scheduled night one last time. So let's take a look now as you see Jordan Goebel out there finishing his warm-up tosses at tonight's Oneonta Outlaws starting lineup. Leading things off at short, going to be none other than Matt Carrera. Pitcher to the left, the first baseman, Chase Armstrong. Jacoby Dale going to play center field. Marco Moises is in right, and he's in the cleanup spot for the first time this season. Brandon Connolly is the EH. Connor Wading going to be the DH. Jeremy Taggart's behind the plate. Millman playing left field, hits 8th. Owen Burnsworth going to be at 3rd. And down in the 10 hole is Nick Del Vecchio at 2nd. But it's going to be the Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs who get a chance to bat first. As leading things off, going to be their lone lefty in their lineup of 9 tonight, Diego Taveras. Taveras has lit up Outlaw pitching this year, and Jordan Goebel certainly hoping that he can try to change that tune here tonight. Most recently, 2 for 4 the other night up there at Little Falls. Had a double as well as an RBI and a run. Goebel going to face Tavares for the first time here at Damaschke this summer as Goebel kicks and fires that one on the lower outside edge, and we're off and running in the Outlaws home finale here in 24. Tavares overall hitting .283 on the season, 32 for 113, as Goebel with his 0-1 popped out towards left. Millman chugging over towards the line, looks up, and there it is. That'll be an F7, 2 pitches and 1 away for Jordan Goebel. Goebel, a 1-1 record on the summer so far. His ERA an inflated 8.61. He's only started 2 games, has made 7 appearances, 15 2/3 total innings pitched, surrendered 16 runs, 15 of those have been earned. 30 hits, 5 watts, and 6 Ks to complete his stat line. Luke Nomura now in the box to face him second, as that one going to drop off Tanger's glove into the dirt and will be ball 1. Nomura playing shortstop tonight for Mohawk Valley. He's kind of shifted around in the middle infield. Other night saw him come off the bench and play some second base behind an injured Cristino Tafano, who is not in the lineup tonight for the Dogs. 1-0 right on the liner off the outstretched glove of Owen Burnsworth. Rolls into left field. Big turn as Burnsworth fires a bullet to second. Ted slapped on, but it's going to be late. And so Luke Nomura going to come up with a 1-out double here in this top of the first. That was a real hard hit ball at Owen Burnsworth. Just caught it off the webbing of his glove and rolled past him. But a nice recovery, though, to strut out there towards shallow left and get a throw to hit Del Vecchio, which if you hadn't had such a fast guy down there in the 2 spot, maybe would have had yourselves an out there. But now Nomura's in scoring position with 1 away here, top first. And the first pitch to Brody Rasmussen, a called strike. Rasmussen playing center field tonight for the Dogs. 6'0", 181. He's from Boise, Idaho, and he's second on this team in batting average with a .318. Goebel along, Chetlet to second. His 0-1, just off that lower outside corner, and it'll go to 1-1. Rasmussen comes off a 1-for-4 night against Amsterdam yesterday. Mohawk Valley, we talked about it in our Oneonta Outlaws game day video we always post on socials, pulling off quite the upset 2-1 final yesterday, as that one tight to the knees, and the count will go 2-1. Mohawks had the 1-0 lead through most of that ball game. The DiamondDawgs put up 2 quick ones. Bottom of the 7th, they scored 1. Bottom of the 8th, they scored another. Took a 2-1 lead to the top of the 9th, and despite a double by Zach Eldred from Amsterdam, they left him on the base pass, and 3 straight were retired after that, and so 2-1 ended up being the final score. Count going to go 3-1 here on Brody Rasmussen. He's got 5 hits in the season series against Oneonta. As Goebel, bat set is 3-1. He's working out of a stretch position with a runner in scoring position. Hammered straight towards second. Del Vecchio underhand that one to the second base bag. And that will complete the double play. Carrera to Del Vecchio down there at second. And so Mohawk Valley not going to strand anybody on base. Into the bottom of the first we go. Going to be an 0-0 game here at Damaschke. Bottom of the first inning, back here on Outlaws YouTube. Leading things off for Oneonta, as we showed you on our beautiful starting lineup graphic, going to be none other than the shortstop, Matt Carrera. Carrera going to be playing in his final game here in 2024 tonight. As the first one from Montagnais, going to drop off that lower outside corner and be ball one. Carrera's got to get home, leaving for a vacation with his family in a couple of short days, so he'll be on a flight tomorrow morning. As Montagnais going to take a step as 1-0. A laser beam out towards right field. Pellion one step to his left, and he's got it in the glove. And there's one quickly retired here in the Outlaw half of the first. Down will go to Chase Armstrong. Armstrong has played the DiamondDawgs just once here so far this summer, and that was actually on Tuesday night. 1 for 4 with a pair of strikeouts as the Outlaws, if that game on Monday night had not been rained out here at Damaschke, would have been playing these Donts 3 times in the final week of the regular season, as that'll be ball one. Final score up there on Tuesday night in Little Falls was 2-1 in favor of Mohawk Valley. Oneonta had the 1-0 lead for the majority of that one. And the DiamondDawgs, a walk-off hit by Levi McAllister. 1-0, straight through the hole on the right side and rolls in front of Pellion and right. Armstrong's got himself a single, and he's on board with just 1 out here in the first. So Chase Armstrong going to go the opposite way with that one. And now Jacoby Dale will come to the plate. Dale sits second on this Outlaw team in batting average, as he's been one of the definitions of consistency, but a key card for this team all season. 305 is his average as he watches one sail up and away for ball one. He comes off a 1 for 4 night up at Utica yesterday, had a double as well as a strikeout. He's second on the team in extra base hits with 8 as the 1-0. Dale drilled that one up over the screen on the first baseline out to the parking lot, and so it'll go to 1-1. Dale going back to get his master's at Wayne State, has 1 more year of eligibility for the Warriors, and he certainly put on a show here this summer in an Outlaw jersey, so hopefully Wayne State has been watching all year and takes notice of the great things that he's done. 1-1, going to come on in high and tight to the hands for ball 2. 6 for 18 is Dale in the season series against Mohawk Valley. Has a triple and a home run as well as 6 ribbies. Montagnais with his little pickoff attempt to first and couldn't get anything as Armstrong slid back in safely. Tavares does a heck of a job on the first base bag, holding runners on for the Mohawk Valley defense. Probably the best in the entire PGCBL in that respect at first, as Dale can't get anything on the fastball, and the count will go 2-2. Dale in the 3 spot in the lineup, and behind him waiting on deck is my boy, the right fielder, Marco Moises. Montagnais, a look behind the back to first, 2-2. Shot straight on back into the screen, probably 12 feet high. And so it'll stay 2 balls, 2 strikes. We'll do it again. With this being the final weekend in the PGCBL regular season, lots of games going on, but as we talked about in our pregame, not too much shifting to be had in the standings as the 2-2 up and away, and the counts run full on Dale. There could be a couple of changes out in the West, and later on, not only will we talk you through the East Division standings, but we'll also take a look at the West and kind of preview what's ahead in the postseason starting Monday. Payoff pitch off the end of the bat into Levi McAllister, but the damage has been done. Jacoby Dale going to draw the walk. And it'll be 2 on for the Outlaws with just 1 away. Looked like a little bit of a fluky ball. Don't know what that caught, whether it was the end of the batter's hand or something, but it went into Levi McAllister. Armstrong advances to second, and now the Outlaws going to have Dale at first, as they're certainly in business for Marco Moises. Moises in right field tonight for Oneonta. And this is his first time in the cleanup spot all summer long. Montagnais going to go slider up and away, and Moises put it back to the screen, and this will go 0-1. Moises certainly one of the underrated characters on this Outlaw team. Always has a smile on his face, always cracking jokes down in the clubhouse. Has kind of taken over for Ethan Glossa, especially in that role here over these last couple of weeks since Glossa took off. Moises going to go down now in the count 0-2 as he took nothing but air again. Moises 5'11", 190 in the box. Going back to University of New Orleans for a sophomore year in just a few short weeks as he watched that one sail up and away. And it'll go 1-2. Moises has played 3 straight games against the DiamondDawgs in the season series. Again, Mohawk Valley 5-0-2 in the season set against Oneonta. 1-2 pitch, going to go up over the screen on the third baseline over the Outlaw clubhouse. So that does leave the ballpark. 1-2 will do it again as Montanay being tested heavily here in this first inning. Checklet down to second. Armstrong's dancing off the bag. 1-2. Up and away again for ball 2. So the count's gone 2-2 here on Moises. Is Montanay down to second. Now going to throw a fastball to the Birds. And so the count's gone full once again. Bat-to-bat full counts. Jacoby Dale just drew a walk. And now Moises hoping he can find a way to get on base as well. Armstrong still testing Montanay as the payoff. Shot straight up the middle. Caught. Going right to the bag. They turn the double play. It's Nomura with the heads up as it's an L sits and then sits unassisted to get Jacoby Dale. So that's going to do it here for this first inning. 1 hit apiece, but no runs to show for it. Into the second we go. 0-0. Going to be your score. Top of the second inning, and it's going to be 4 or 5 sits to bat for the Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs. Ryan Frontiera leads things off against Jordan Goebel, who worked a very quick first inning. Great breaking pitch for a called strike 1 to start the second. Goebel's one of those guys who, if he has to sit for a couple minutes between innings, he can bounce the same way he would in terms of a long inning. Goebel's just got those rock killer instincts out there for Oneonta. Is great frame by Taggart, but won't get the call as it draws even to 1-1. Frontiera has been playing pretty good baseball the last few weeks for Mohawk Valley. Talk about his numbers here in a second. Is the 1-1. Going to sail on in high for ball 2. Frontiera's played third base and been in there just about every day this summer for Mohawk Valley. 193 is his average, but he has hits in 3 of the last 4 games. Goebel with his 2-1. Chopped up the third baseline in foul territory, and it'll go to 2 balls, 2 strikes. Goebel, this is the first time that he's seen the Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs lineup this summer. 4 of his last 5 outings have been on this home mound after he had 2 in a row on the road to begin the year. 2-2, down and away, ball 3, as that was off in that lefty batter's box. And the DiamondDawgs do have just one lefty in their lineup tonight. It's Diego Tavares, who's also at first. Goebel with his payoff offering. A laser out towards right. Moises looking up in the corner, and he's got it. And there's 1 down to begin the second. So back-to-back deep fly balls to start innings for Jordan Goebel. And now Ethan Pugh's going to get a chance to bat with 1 out in the second. Looking down the rest of the lineup for Mohawk Valley, Justin Hurd playing second, Major Pellion in right field, Levi McAllister hits 8th behind the plate, and Mason Snell, their 9-hole guy, the designated hitter. That one going to skip in the dirt for ball 1 to Pugh's. The DiamondDawgs have had a few guys come and go throughout the summer. Ethan Pugh's is a guy who's stuck it out here. He even won Hitter of the Week 3 weeks back in the Eastern Division. Is that one straight back into the mat behind the plate, and the count's drawn even to 1-1. His average certainly wouldn't show that he was Hitter of the Week 3 weeks ago. He's hitting just over the Mendoza line with a 207. 32 games he's played in. He's from Plant City, Florida. Not too awful far from Tampa on that Gulf side down in Florida. So Goebel from the first base side, 1-1 count with 1 away, your top second 0-0 game as that one hammered out towards left. Going to curve in foul territory just to the right of the Oneonta pen. And it's drawn to 1-2. Pugh's last night against Amsterdam, 0 for 2 with a pair of walks and also a strikeout. Against Oneonta the other day, he was 0 for 3 with a run scored and a hit by pitch. He was actually the first run across the plate on that Levi McAllister walk-off hit. As Goebel's 1-2. High fly ball on the infield. Everybody racing in for it, looking up. Carrera pulls it out of the lights. And it'll be a P6 for out 2. Looking around the horn for Oneonta, left to right on the infield. Owen Burnsworth is at third, Carrera at short, Delvecchio plays second, and Armstrong's at first. In the outfield, Dylan Millman going to be in left, Jacoby Dale's in center, Marco Moises plays right, and Jeremy Taggart is behind the plate tonight for Jordan Goebel. Justin Hurd with 2 away here in the second. That one just off that lower inside corner and a called strike anyway. Like a little bit of a delayed strike call from our home plate umpire, but not going to complain about any strike call you can get as Goebel trying to give Oneonta a quality start tonight. Huge swing and a miss, and it's drawn to 0-2. Got a chance to chop it up a bit with Goebel earlier on today, and he was telling me his only goals tonight to get ahead early in counts and get to work on his off-speed stuff and also give this team a quality start and a chance to win this game. 0-2 pitch, swung on and missed, and Goebel sends him down here in the second. 1-2-3. Frontiera flies to right, Pugh's pops to short, and Justin Hurd strikes out swinging. Into the bottom of the second we go. 0-0 your score between the Dogs and your Outlaws. Bottom of the second inning, excuse me, back here on Outlaws YouTube. 0-0 score. Jack Montagne back out on the bump for Mohawk Valley, as to be expected. This is a guy who's got some innings in his arm and is trying to eat some up for the DiamondDawgs, save their best arms heading into this weekend. Connolly shot that one up and foul, so the count's 0-1. Got to give a shout out to Brendan Connolly's grandpa, Daniel Murray, who Connolly told me yesterday watches every game here on our YouTube. Is that one going to go up and away? And the count's gone to 1-1. Connolly, 2 games played against the DiamondDawgs this summer. He's 3 for 7 with 3 runs scored. Montagne steps with his 1-1, going to go up and away, and that'll be ball 2. Connolly, the EH in the lineup, will be followed in the second by Connor Wading, the DH, and Jeremy Taggart, who's catching tonight for Jordan Goebel. Montagne, the 2-1, called strike 2 on that lower outside corner. And now Montagne. Big breath is 2-2. Connolly, slow dribbler right up the middle. Hurd over to his left, fires to first in time, and that's going to be a 4-3 to retire Brendan Connolly. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm super excited to be joined here in this bottom of the second inning by Darren Dangler. Darren, how are we feeling?
We're feeling good here. How many times have we played these guys?
This is the 9th meeting.
This is the 9th time we've played the DiamondDawgs. Got walked off a few times against them. Hoping to get a quick win before playoffs against them.
Connor waiting, going to watch one sail in a bit low off that outside edge, and the count's gone 1-0. And Darren, tell me a little bit about this season series with Mohawk Valley. What have you seen from the DiamondDawgs this year?
Just some late comebacks, some things we can definitely fix. Just some late comebacks. We have them most of the game, and then 7th, 8th inning, we just let them come back into the game.
Montagne, 2-0 pitch, waiting with a big swing and a miss, and the count goes 2-1. And when you say things to fix, got any specifics in mind?
Just not throwing perfect pitches on 0-2, 1-2, and just keeping our foot on the gas while we're up a few runs on them.
So the count 2-2. Montagne working quickly, fires one in and waiting, a swing and a miss, and that will retire him swinging. So there's 2 down here in the second. And Darren, playing this team before you go into playoffs on Monday, what's the feeling like tonight?
Feeling good. Got the guys hyped up. Just trying to get one quick before playoffs, and hopefully we'll get another one Monday against them.
Jeremy Taggart now going to bat with 2 away. Is Montagne going to drill one off that lower outside corner, and it'll go 1-0. How special is it to know that you're going to the playoffs in your first year here playing summer ball?
It's sweet. Can't wait. I'm sure the atmosphere is going to be sick as Tag just rips one up the middle for me.
So Taggart going to come up with a big 2-out single. And on the road in Mohawk Valley, you've seen that atmosphere. What's it like up there in Little Falls?
Short fence and center. It's not as good as Damaschke, the atmosphere, but we're gonna get it done out there Monday.
Well, this atmosphere here at Damaschke, tell me about it.
Great atmosphere. Fans are awesome. Know when to get loud at the right moments. Fires up our dugout.
Dylan Millman now in with 2 away, and Jeremy Taggart at first. 2 hits now on the board for Oneonta after that single in the first by Armstrong. Montagne's 1-0, going to sail in high and tight, and it'll go 2-0. Last home game here tonight. How pleased are you with the turnout?
Amazing. Got a lot of people here for the last home game. Hopefully we can bring home some playoff wins.
Big swing and a miss, and Millman going to be in a hitter's count, 2-1. And Darren, being local and having family and friends here every single game, how special has that been for you?
My timing and just seeing spin, because I didn't see a lot of spin in high school. So,
is there any specific changes or difference to your approach that you've taken this summer?
Yeah, my approach, I just got to get my foot down early and got to get my A swing off in the beginning of the at-bat, and then just make sure this guy doesn't beat me with a fastball and react to his spins.
2-2, broken tight to Millman's knees, and so the count's run full. And how do you feel like as the summer's gone on, you've become more comfortable and found some level of consistency?
Just seeing good pitching every day. It's really helpful to kind of lock in, stick with that same approach, and I've been seeing decent results with it, so I just got to keep going.
So Millman working a deep at bat as he's now seen 7. Montaner with another payoff, low and away, and Millman going to fire the bat off the side as he's on base, courtesy of the walk. And so there's 2 on for the Outlaws with 2 away. And now Darren, a guy who you got to golf with a couple weeks back at the Outlaws golf tournament, Owen Burnsworth.
Yes, sir. Owen, great guy, great kid right here. Hopefully he can put one in play for us and get us on the board early.
Burnsworth playing third base tonight for the second time at home this week for the Outlaws. Montaner, first pitch, hung that one straight through the middle of the zone, fly straight out to center, and it's caught by Rasmussen easily. And so that's going to end the inning. The Outlaws strand 2, into the third we go, going to stay in 0-0 game. Top of the third inning, back here on Outlaws YouTube. Darren Dangler and Lawrence Ellenson here for this inning. Larry, how we doing?
I'm doing good, Colby. How are we doing here tonight?
Feeling great and feeling like it's a good night to be an Outlaw.
Of course it is. It's a 0-0 game. We're in the top of the third. I'm loving this right now.
So 7, 8, 9 to bat for the DiamondDawgs. This is Major Palian to lead things off here against Goebel. First one going to be a called strike off that lower outside corner. And boys, what are we seeing from Goebel so far tonight?
Goebel's been attacking the zone. He's been getting ahead early, and then he's just giving them his best pitches. They're grounding it straight into the ground, and we're getting some outs, making some plays.
So 1-1 going to be the count. He'll be followed up in this inning by Levi McAllister and Mason Snell. As Goebel has 1-1, swung on and missed, and it'll go to 1-2. And Larry, tell me about your first season as Outlaw. What's it been like to play here in Oneonta?
It's been a pretty fun experience. I mean, understanding the culture of Oneonta. It's been nice. Everybody on the team I've made good friends with. Been just having a blast ever since the first week I got here. Everybody's good. It's a lot of fun.
So the counts run 2-2 on Palian, and you were a part of a pretty successful season at LIU this year. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely amazing culture. The second I got there, it felt like a brotherhood. We really bonded very well.
Straight out towards right. Moises coming in, and he's got that one, and there's one down.
We really just bonded well, and everybody playing for each other. I mean, we had 17 seniors graduate, and we really wanted a ring for them, so we bonded together, and we went for that ring, and we got it.
And now, Darren, switching things over to you. You just graduated. You're going to Sage this fall. What are you expecting out of the culture up there?
I visited a little bit with my brother, so I know a few of the guys. Already starting to click with them. Yeah, I just can't wait to get up there, play some ball with some good guys.
Levi McAllister, who delivered the walk-off hit the other night up there in Little Falls, drops behind in the count 0-1. And it's only been a couple of days. That game up in Little Falls the other night, what did you both see out of that one?
We played a clean ball game up until about, call it the 8th inning. I mean, we just got to stop taking our foot off the gas. We held them scoreless up until the 9th, and then we just started playing some dirty baseball and letting balls get by us. And just like that, there was dogpiling at second base, courtesy of Levi McAllister, who's at the dish right now.
0-2, bouncer, left side of the infield, fielded cleanly by Carrera, throw to first in time, and that'll be a 6-3 to retire McAllister's. There's 2 down. How frustrating is that to play such a clean ball game like you all did for 8.5 innings, and then, of course, have that walk-off blow?
It's super frustrating. Obviously, you give it your all for the 8.5 innings. That's 95% of the game, and then you just throw it away in the bottom of the 9th. It hurts. It's a tough one, but you got to take it to the chin and don't let it happen again.
Mason Snell down in the 9 spot. He's the DH tonight for the DiamondDawgs. Last time Mohawk Valley was here, he went 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts, as that one going to be ball 1. And Darren, got to ask you, this Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs team loaded 1-9. How do you feel about the system they run, where it's basically the same guys who play day in and day out?
I think it's a good system that they run, but again, we've seen these guys how many times? 9 times. So, I mean, we know basically where to place the balls, what their best and what their weaknesses are. So, yeah, we're gonna bring this one home right here.
So the count's gone 1-1 on Snell. Is Goebel, bat set from the stretch, steps and fires. Popped up straight behind home. That one's going to get over the screen, stays in the ballpark.
That almost killed the kid.
So it'll go 1-2. And luckily the kids are all right. That's what counts.
Luckily.
So Goebel going to be 1 strike away from getting out of the 2nd inning. And we got a couple more fellas who joined us up here in the booth.
Got my boy KP, Kyle Pollock here from Marist. What's up, guys? We got
Sit 'em, Goebel.
Sit 'em, and we got Dan Matafee from Holy Cross.
What's up, everyone?
So the count's going to be full here on Mason Snell with 2 away.
Got to attack here. I'm not trying to see Diego up. This kid, he did a lot of damage against me last time we faced him.
The payoff, hammered out towards left, going to fall in front of Dylan Millman out there, and so it's a 2-out single for Mason Snell. Well, and you want to talk about that damage? Do you have anything specific you want to say about Taveras as a hitter?
Man, I'm not trying to glaze, but he's a good hitter. He's a very good hitter. He went to Wagner, went All-NEC 2nd team. I already know that because I played in this conference. But he's a good hitter. You just got to attack him early. He got a good eye. So really just got to head in the count and try and give him your junk. But you fall behind in the count, you're going to have a problem.
Taveras.
The back of the mound and got funny.
Well, and last night up in Utica, another bad bounce proven costly. Tell me a little bit about that game up in Utica yesterday. Coach Joe said there were a lot of positives. What positives did you have?
A lot of positives. Just like our last Mohawk Valley game, we held them scoreless for 8 innings. We almost got pitchers BP, and then just like that, we started letting balls get by us. We started playing a dirty game, and unfortunately, with 2 outs, ground ball hit to short, and it hit a rock, and it bounced about 15 feet in the air. And just like that, they took a 1-run lead, and they held it.
Luke Namura going to take a first pitch ball off the play. And now I want to rope Dan into the conversation here for a second. Dan, you were on the mound the other night here at Damaschke when we had that rain out. How annoying was it to, get a wasted start like that?
It was pretty annoying. I mean, it was 2 outs, runner just got to second on a pass ball, and I step on the rubber. They go, step off, so I step off. I'm like, all right, it's drizzling. Step back on, and it starts pouring. And I was ready to finish out the second inning, but they were like, got to get off the field. And before you know it, the whole infield was an ocean. Could have swam in it. But it is what it is. I threw extra pitches in the bullpen before the game because I knew rain was coming fast. So got my work in anyways.
So the count going to be 2-1 here on Nomura. And in terms of a day like that, how do you approach, other than maybe throwing some extra pitches in the bullpen? Like, what's your mentality going in?
Just go out there, work on what I want to work on, and have fun. Don't try and do too much, but obviously go out there and just have some fun, throw some bullets, and do what I can.
Well, and for you personally, what's the experience been like being an Outlaw this summer?
I mean, I came into it not really knowing how much I was going to pitch, but a couple days in, Keaton asked if I wanted to start, so I took a starting role and just embraced it from there on out.
So Nomura draws the walk. Snell advances to third. Tavares now at second. And Larry, this mound visit between Taggart and Goebel, what do you think's being said at the moment?
Taggart's calming him down. He's cracking a few jokes, telling him let's just have some fun out here, and then hopefully Goebel comes out here, throws us a strike, and we just get it out here. Easy out at second.
Well, and Brody Rasmussen, the 3-hole hitter from Mohawk Valley, he's lit this pitching staff up quite a bit this summer. Also, the hitter of the week, 2 weeks running before Jack Hopko took the nod. What have you seen from Brody Rasmussen this summer?
He's definitely a good hitter. He's got a good approach at the plate, but both games I faced him, I think I tried to pitch him backwards, and I think that's what worked him out of my favor. I don't recall correctly, but I don't think I gave up a hit to him as a result of pitching backwards, and it's just you just got to pitch to your strengths.
Rasmussen grounded into a double play to start to end the first inning. Goebel with the bases full, 2 outs. Here, top third. That one shot straight out toward short. Carrera
just
flips
like
underhand
said, baby.
right to Delvecchio. And so that will be a 6-4 to retire Nomura, and the top of the third is over. To the bottom of the third we go. 0-0, still your score between Mohawk Valley and Oneonta. Bottom of the third inning, it's going to be 10-1-2 to bat for the Outlaws. Joined now by Outlaws catcher Kyle Pollock. Kyle, how are we feeling?
I'm feeling good. Second time being up here. Unfortunately, last home game, but see if we can scratch a few runs across here. I'm feeling good. Boys look good. Weather's great. We got up here Larry, Dan, Dang. Colby's always being a guy. Nicky Cheeks is up.
So the count's going to go 1-0 here on Delvecchio. And yesterday, you take player of the game in Utica. How were you feeling yesterday?
I was feeling good. I mean, me and as a single right there by Nick, good piece of hitting. Me and Caleb, we worked really well together the first few innings. Arm was kind of hanging at the end, but kind of found ways to get outs at the end. But we were working the whole game. Really, the pen was just great. I mean, Gilbert was great up until the end, unfortunately. But saw the ball pretty well at the plate. Got on base, I think, 3 times. But overall, pretty good game.
Well, and what's the comfort level like you working with Caleb Kempler out there?
I mean, I've been catching him since my fall freshman year, so almost 2 years now. I've caught numerous bullpens, lives, everything. I mean, we've talked. I've lived with him. I lived with him this summer. Talked just a lot of baseball, what works, what doesn't work, and we've been working pretty well together so far. See if we can take it into the spring season this year.
So the count going to drop 0-2 here on Matt Carrera, and you had a pretty successful year this year at Marist. You want to tell everybody watching a little bit about your season?
Yeah, I mean, I played a pretty good amount, as much as I can, or as I hoped for. Good swing by there, Matt.
Double back.
Through it.
And Delvecchio going to chug on down towards second, slides in safely, and there's going to be 1 down, and he will be in scoring position, though.
Yeah, continuing on my journey, I was saying, had a really good fall, proved that I wanted to be there, I wanted to play, only being a sophomore. Didn't play at all my freshman year. Going into my sophomore year, I knew that I needed to be out there, and I proved it pretty early. Played most of the first half of the season, and then unfortunately had a leg injury. I was out for a little while, but came back at the end, made a good playoff run, but came a little short.
Well, and you mentioned to me you played infield a little bit in that back half of the season. What was that like?
Yeah, so in the fall, we unfortunately, one of our first basemen had a shoulder injury, so he wasn't able to throw at all. And our other first baseman, Ethan Conrad, who's at Wake Forest now, actually transferred. He played the outfield at the time as well, so we had no backup first baseman. So, being the athlete that I am, I just kind of try and play wherever. Told the coach, I could play first base, and that was the first time I fielded a ground ball, really, in I think 4 or 5 years. So it was a little interesting, but had a few starts at first, probably like 3 or 4, and then moved on. Later on in the year, there was a bunch of injuries. I think we had 3 or 4 infielders go down, and our catcher, Danny Mosier, he was a great 5th-year catcher, great leader, and I kind of threw on the infielder's glove, learned it, had a bunch of starts, and had a lot of fun doing it.
So we had Chase Armstrong pop up to Ryan Frontier over at third, and now it's Jacoby Dale with a 0-1 count, 2 away, and he's going to take a great breaking pitch for a called strike 2. And as a catcher, obviously, pitchers and what they're throwing quite well. What have you seen has been working for Jet Montagne tonight?
He's got command, I'd say, of all 3 pitches. I mean, he's getting ahead early, a lot of first pitch strikes. You see Kobe working there. I mean, the only issue that he's having, not really an issue, but it's just his pitch count's kind of little up there going in the 3rd inning. But his command is definitely there, and he's getting outs with a really good infield and outfield behind him.
And Montagne, this is his 3rd outing this summer against the Outlaws. 9 combined innings entering tonight, 4 runs surrendered, 8 hits. Looking down towards second, the 0-2. Swing and a miss as Dale went reaching for that one, and that ends the inning. Delvecchio going to be stranded down at second, and the Outlaws have left 4 on base through the first 3 innings. To the 4th we go, still going to be an 0-0 score. Back here in historic Damaschke Field, top of the fourth inning, 3 hits apiece, and the DiamondDawgs now with an error on the board. Colby Smith, and I'm joined here in this fourth inning by Outlaws infielder and outfielder Colton Harrison. Once again, Colton, happy to have you back.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. Watching a great game here. Let's see what happens.
3-4-5 to bat for Mohawk Valley against Goebel. Is that one going to go out low and away for ball one? Colton, you said great game so far. Jordan Goebel certainly throwing heck of a game so far. What have you been seeing from him?
I mean, you know, he's just a consistent guy. He goes out there, throws strikes, and when he's on, he's definitely on. So
the count going to go 1-1 as he answers right on bat there with a strike. Brody Rasmussen grounded into that double play to end inning number 1. Is now the 1-1. Turn out towards the right center gap, running over. That one's caught by Dale on the run.
yeah, that's a special player right there. Dude's a dog.
So Jacoby Dale comes up with a big one to rub Ryan Frontier of a hit. As my apologies, Brody Rasmussen ended that third inning. Ethan Pugh's now going to bat with one away. And talk about Jacoby Dale. I know you did a little bit last time, but what's his leadership like, and what's it like playing with him?
You know, it's great. He's an older guy on the team, and you know he comes out here every day being consistent, and you know he's a guy everyone looks up to.
Hammered towards left, racing back goes Millman. He looks up, and that one gonna fall on in. Millman plays it off the one hop, but in the second goes Pugh's, and he's got a 1-out double. Colton, with the way that one left the bat, at first I thought that one was out of here.
Yeah, me too. And then when it landed, you know, the white background, I thought it was gone, but you know, stayed in the park today. It's impossible to hit a ball out here, I swear.
We've only seen 2 Outlaw home runs all summer here in summer of 2024 at Damaschke Field. And Colton, what do you think is the hardest part about hitting here at Damaschke Field?
I mean, first of all, I think 335 is a lie. That's got to be like 400 feet. Because, I mean, we got guys in BP hitting the ball that should be way onto the street, and it lands halfway in the outfield. So I swear this place is cursed, but, you know, we'll see.
Justin Hurd now up here with a 1-0 count. He struck out swinging his first time up in the second inning. And when I had the crew up here last inning, they were talking about this season set with Mohawk Valley. But from your perspective, what do you think is worked, what hasn't worked against the DiamondDawgs here this summer?
You know, I think they're just a team who, you know, I think both of us, the Outlaws and them, we can both hit. But I think sometimes they just have the timely hitting that comes in handy for them. For example, last time we played them, or maybe 2 times when they walked us off, the first time, you know, they really weren't getting a lot of hits all game, and then the bottom of the ninth they come up with a double to win the game. So I mean, you know, it's just they just get lucky and get the hits in the right time.
2-1 here, the count on Justin Hurd. He's in the sit spot tonight for Steve Luby as he taps that one up the third baseline in foul territory, and it'll go to 2-2. And in terms of coming up with those timely hits in the moment of need, what do you attribute that the most to for a good baseball team?
You know, I just think it's sticking to it and being on the grind. You know, you just got to stay with it, whether you're 0 for 3, 1 for 2, or 3 for 3 on the night. You know, you never know which at-bat's going to affect the game the most.
Pugh's with a big lead off second as the 2-2 pass to diving Owen Burnsworth into left. Stopped at third by Steve Luby is Ethan Pugh's, and it'll be first and third for the DiamondDawgs with just 1 out. Well, Justin Hurd, what'd you see on that ball?
It was hit pretty hard, you know. Yeah, it's a hard hit ball, so, you know, he laid out for it, couldn't get it, so it's just part of the game.
Well, and would you say that Jordan Goebel, for the most part tonight, has been pitching to contact?
Yeah, I mean, he throws strikes, and, you know, I think, at least when I'm playing the field, that's all I really ask for from a pitcher, because there's nothing worse than a guy who goes out there and throws a bunch of balls. So if he's throwing strikes and they're hitting it, I mean, nothing more you can ask for.
Major Pauline flew out to right his first time up, high and outside for ball 1. Throw down a second wasn't in time, and Justin Hurd going to get a stolen bag, and so it'll be second and third with just 1 away here from Mohawk Valley. terms of the base running game for Mohawk Valley, how do you feel like the DiamondDawgs just time and time again, always on the move with one out, it seems like always come up with the stolen bats?
I mean, to be honest, I don't really know how, because I think we got some of the best catchers in the league. You know, Taggart, Kyle, and Dangler, they all have really good arms, and I think they've caught a lot of guys stealing this year. But, you know, I mean, they just do what good teams have to do. You got to take a bag when you can. So that's good baseball.
The Outlaws was saying that third in the division in caught stealings, only behind Saugerties and Amsterdam this summer. 2-0 now the count on Pauline. Is Goebel. Fired one low and away. Out towards the right center gap. Moises makes the play. Tagging from third. Ethan Hughes will have a play at the plate as that one sails past Taggart. Big turnaround third. Justin Hurd going to cruise on in to score. And just like that, it's 2-0 Mohawk Valley. Colton, ball that gets hit right to Marco Moises and a play at the plate. I mean, how do you change a play like that?
You know, I don't really think there's much he changed. You know, he put a good throw and it took a bad hop. You know, I mean, we saw it at Mohawk Valley the other night when he threw someone out at the plate. He's definitely got a good arm, and same situation right there. He just didn't get the hop he wanted.
Levi McAllister now to bat with 2 away. Is that one going to come in tight to his hands, 1-0? And in terms of Marco's strengths and weaknesses out there, being the guy on this team who knows him better than anything, what do you feel like has really worked for him here this summer?
You know, I think just the consistent reps is what he needed, me and him both. You know, I think, you know, going into the fall, he wasn't the strongest in the outfield, but he came back in the spring at UNO way better than I've seen him in the outfield, and, you know, he's just continued to get better over here in Oneonta. So I think the continuous reps and, you know, experience that he's been gaining over here is what's helped him the most.
So McAllister going to come up with a 2-out single. And in terms of the reps and experience, how would you say that this summer making this adjustment, is that one going to go in the foul ground, the left field side, dropping in, how would you say that it's really helped you out after sitting for much of the spring?
You know, I think reps and just playing consistently is the most important thing in baseball, because it's not like other sports like football and, you know, basketball where you play one or a few games a week. You know, it's one of those games you can play just about every day and still feel decently good after. So I think, you know, getting on the field as much as possible is really what any baseball player trying to become the best version of themselves needs.
So the count going to stay 0-1. Is Goebel with a quick checklet to first. Bounced in front of the plate, and that'll be ball one, and so it goes to 1-1. And a lot of the Outlaw players have said time and time again this summer that if you all were anywhere else, you probably would be, you know, a specific group of 9 that plays every day and wouldn't be rotated in and out like you all have been. Is that one out towards right, and Chase Armstrong not going to have a play on as it skips into the screen. How would you say that, you know, the way things are run here, the way the culture is different than anywhere else?
You know, I think a lot of teams in this league and a lot of other summer leagues, most of the time they have the same guys playing every day. You know, that can be good, but, you know, when you got a group of 20 position players who can rotate in and out, and you can still be a consistent team and still get wins with that, I think that really shows how good we play as a team together, and I think it's good that we get breaks every so often. That way we're not getting burnt out and we're still fresh when it is our time to play.
Goebel 1-2, going to go on away low, and it draws to 2-2. DiamondDawgs 6 hits on the board, the Outlaws with just 3. And again, it's a 2-0 game here in the top of the 4th. Goebel, back set, working almost from the stretch. Going to shoot that one low off the plate for ball 3. Now with the count full here and 2 outs, runner at first, what do you go to if you're Goebel?
You know, I'm going fastball, you know, challenge him, see what he does, you know. He gets a hit, he's going to second anyway, and he's going to first. So, you know, give him a fastball, let him hit it, and hopefully we get an out.
Goebel with a count juiced. Fastball, swing and a miss, and you called it, Colton. Snell can't get a piece of that one, but the DiamondDawgs do plate two here in the top of the fourth. To the bottom of the fourth we go. Going to be a 2-0 DiamondDawgs score.
Please turn your attention.
Bottom of the fourth inning, I want to apologize about our little video glitch there. Should be all fixed now. First pitch, Marco Moises going to take one low and away, and that's ball one. And Colton, in terms of Marco's approach at the plate, what do you feel like he's, really changed and what's been working here recently?
He just, for example, that swing right there, he sees a fastball he can hit, and he does his best to smoke it, He can hit fastballs really well, and he knows how to adjust to off speed.
That one going to go up over the screen on the third baseline, 1-2. And in terms of for him personally, how do you feel like he's grown as a ball player here this summer?
I think one of the biggest things he wanted out of summer ball this year was a lot of at-bats, and I think he's gotten a good bit. And, he's just one of those players who, if he plays consistently, he's going to produce. So, I think he's always had the skill. It's just, having a coach that's going to give him the opportunity, and once he gets it, he's going to run with it.
2-2, up once again behind home plate, and that one going to stay in the park as it was swatted down by Cristino Tofano, who's not in the lineup tonight for the DiamondDawgs. So the count going to be 2-2. Moises lined out to short his first time up back in the first inning. As Montanay gets him to pop one up out just in front of the outfield grass as it's got caught by Frontiera, and there's going to be one down. Brendan Connolly going to be next up for Oneonta. And Colton, Brendan Connolly, guy who hasn't been able to play the field this summer with his shoulder injury, but he's been a big presence with the bat. Why do you feel that is?
Same reason as a bunch of us. He loves the game, and he's a consistent hard worker. And I think this is one of those games where if you work hard consistently, you'll get rewarded. And he's just one of those guys. He cares a lot about his teammates, and he just does his best to produce for the team.
Connolly now ahead in the count 1-0. He grounded out 4-3 on a slow bouncer his first time up, as that one going to come just above the shoelaces, and that's ball two. How do you feel like the care level and in terms of the way everybody approaches things here is so special?
It's one of those things where it's like we care so much about the game and about each other, but we're also laid back at the same time. No one's too hard on each other. Coaches aren't too hard on us, and I think that's why we have such a good culture, because it's a loving and caring culture for the game and for each other.
3-0, low and away, but a called strike, as that was a bit of a delayed call. And Colton, it seems like we've had a lot of umpire drama, lots of late calls all summer.
Yeah, this is my boy Tim behind the plate right here. When I first started umpiring at Cooperstown, I was at first base the day before my first day, and he was at first. He helped me out. We grew a relationship, and, I think working beautiful base hit. Working umpiring, you learn both sides of the game, and now that I've started, you kind of understand where they're coming from with a late call or maybe missing a call. It's just part of it. Like today, I umpired 2 games this morning, and I'll be honest with you, I missed a call, and the coaches got mad. We talked about it, but everyone moved on. So it's just part of the game.
Connor waiting now after the beautiful single that you mentioned by Brendan Connolly. There's one away here, bottom 4th, and waiting, going to watch one go low and away for ball 1. And about that call you missed, anything specific you want to share about that this morning?
It was just, it's 12-year-old baseball. The catchers aren't the strongest, so he threw a right-handed batter, lefty pitching, threw a curveball. I had it hitting the inside low corner of the strike zone. Catcher kind of caught it weird and kind of dropped it, and it made it look pretty bad. So, tough call on my part, but, I called it a strike and, got yelled at, but everyone moved on and ended up being a pretty good game.
Connolly diving back head first into first base, and the count's gone 2-0. Connor waiting, what have you seen from him here recently?
I learned a lot about his swing and learned a lot about my swing just because of him. His no-stride approach. When about halfway through the summer, I started doing that a little bit. I looked at his swing and took a couple things from it. Tried to apply it to my swing, and he's just a hard-working guy. He really has a lot of power, and I think as long as he keeps his approach simple and puts a bat on the ball, he's going to be a great baseball player for as long as he plays.
Talking about power, he was one of those 2 Outlaws to put a ball out at Damaschke here this summer as he shoots one out towards deep center. Brody Rasmussen races on back looking up, and he's got that one. Connolly was almost all the way to second. He has to retreat, and there's 2 down here in this bottom of the 4th.
Like I was saying earlier, it's impossible to hit a ball out here, and frankly, quite impossible to get a ball on the ground in center field if you hit it high. So, that ball was hammered, still caught.
Do you think the wind or the other than the dimensions, maybe the wind or anything like that has something to do with that?
I don't know. It might be the elevation. I don't know what the elevation is here, but I really do think for example, we hit BP at Mohawk Valley, we hit BP at Glens Falls, and it just feels way different than when we hit BP here. It's weird. It's something about it I still haven't grasped. I still don't understand what's going on. But it's a beautiful field. We got the beautiful mountains in the back. It's a great place to play, and I think the fields came a long way. Dirt looks way better. Grass looks beautiful today. So, nothing you can really complain about here.
Well, they don't call Oneonta the city of the hills for nothing. So the count 1-1 here on Taggart. Again, it's Connolly at first after his single. Quick check look over the shoulder by Montanay. It's Taggart, bullet out towards right, racing back, it's caught by Pellion, and that will be the final out of this 4th inning.
Before we end the 4th inning thing, I want to give a shout out to Josiah and Keaton for just keeping the field beautiful all year. I don't know who cuts the grass, but they do a great job on the dirt and the mound and the plate, so just shout out to them. They're doing a great job.
So Keaton and Josiah getting the love from Colton. To the top of the 5th we go. Mohawk Valley still a 2-0 lead. Welcome back here in the home finale of 2024. Colby Smith and Colton Harrison. And the Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs going to have 1, 2, 3 up to face a new pitcher out of the bullpen, Dan Bello. And Colton, we were just talking a little bit about it. Bello hasn't pitched in quite a while for this team.
Yeah, he took a couple weeks off. I wasn't really sure why. I think he was working and making some money, trying to pay for college, I assume. But yeah, he's back, and we'll see what he does.
He's taken losses in 3 consecutive outings, so he's trying to rebound here seeing the DiamondDawgs, and he's now 2 straight balls. Jordan Goebel, he goes 4 innings, holds the Dogs to just two runs and 6 hits. What do you think were the strongest positives of his outing?
Strikes, just about every time he pitches, I feel like he throws a lot of strikes. And like I said earlier, that's just what I'm looking for out of my pitcher when I'm in the field. So, hats off to him. It's a good outing for him, and hopefully we can score some runs, back him up.
Bellows 3-0. Called strike on that lower outside corner, and it'll go 3-1. In a 3-1 count, facing a guy against Diego Tavares who's always looking to put the ball in play, what's your go-to here?
I don't really know. Look like fastball. He's one of those guys who, he's got a good swing, and he puts the bat on the ball, like you said, so you don't necessarily want to pitch around him, but you don't want to give him something he can hit hard.
So Tavares going to draw the walk, and Luke Nomura, who's been on base twice so far in this game, nets up for the DiamondDawgs. Mohawk Valley going to have their regular season finale at home tomorrow night against Boonville. 6:35 start. Is that one in just above the shoes for ball 1. And Colton, things really busy here at the end for you all. Tomorrow we go to Glens Falls, and Sunday we go to Watertown. What a weekend to end things.
Yeah, that's a lot of travel in 2 short days and a quick turnaround for a playoff game Monday, but hopefully we can stay strong and, fight through it and get some wins.
What's your favorite thing about road trips with this team?
I'm not really sure. I think it's a good time being on the bus with the boys, Usually first part of the bus ride we're having a good time, laughing, making jokes. Then people tend to fall asleep and the cycle repeats itself on the way back home. But, it's just a good time being with the boys.
So Luke Nomura with a deep fly out to Dylan Millman in left field, and there's one away. And in terms of your college baseball road trips as opposed to your summer baseball road trips, do you feel like there's any sort of differences?
I think the college road trips, there's a lot more energy and, obviously there's, I think, more guys. And usually you have to double up on the seats because there's, more guys on the team. But, with the college guys, you're with them so much more that there's those inside jokes and those, those little things about each other. A little bit more about the guys you go to college with, so, there's more energy and more laughs and jokes going around the bus.
0-1 pitch to Rasmussen, out towards Burnsworth, looks to second, high to Delvecchio, over to Armstrong, not going to be in time. So they only get the lead runner. Is Diego Tavares going to be forced out 5-4, and we'll put that in as a fielder's choice for Rasmussen.
Third baseman from Seton Hall, number 14, Ryan Frontera.
Colin, Owen Burnsworth over there at third base. What are you seeing from him at the hot corner?
He's done pretty good for us, I think. Sometimes when he gets the ball, I think he thinks he has less time than he actually does. I think when you get balls hit at you that hard, you got more time than you think. And I think he just needs to, field it. He usually does a great job fielding it, and then just, take his time, make a good throw. But he's a great fielder, and I've seen a lot of good things out of him this summer.
Ryan Frontera in the box for Mohawk Valley. 1-0 pitch, straight up the middle towards Bello. He fields cleanly over to Chase Armstrong, and that's the end of the Mohawk half of the 5th. 1-3 it'll be. The DiamondDawgs strained another as they've left 3 on base through the first 5. We're halfway home in the Outlaws 2024 home finale. 2-0, still going to be your score. Bottom of the 5th inning, Dylan Millman going to lead things off against Montagnais, who remains out here for the DiamondDawgs. Takes a first pitch strike, and behind him this inning will be Owen Burnsworth and Nick Delvecchio. Montagnais with the 0-1. Going to come on in tight to the knees for ball 1. You've played in the outfield a few times with Dylan Millman, been in the lineup a handful of times with him. What's the best thing or, your favorite thing about Millie's game?
He's a really good defender and he's a good hitter. He's just one of those guys who's super consistent. And I think when he's in the outfield, it's one of those guys where when they hit the ball to him, he's there and he's going to make the play. Great defender, and I never have any worries when he's in the outfield.
But knowing your playoff opponent is already locked in for Monday.
It's weird, especially since we're playing them right now. We've played them so many times in the past week. It feels like we've played them so much we should have the upper hand to beat them. But, like I said, it's baseball and anything can happen. So we'll see what happens.
Well, in the PGCBL, it's kind of weird, fluky, whatever you want to say, in the sense that until you get to the championship series, just one-game playoff rounds. Is that something that anybody is really used to?
No, I don't think so. Not in baseball, at least. If this were another sport, it'd make more sense. But, baseball, you're usually used to series or at least, something a little different than single elimination, double elimination maybe. But, it is summer ball, and we've played almost 40 games, so I think single elimination was a good choice by the people who run the PGCBL.
So the count going to be 1-2 here on Burnsworth. Again, there's just one away. Outlaw half for the 5th. Montagnais steps and delivers. Is that one going to miss slow and away for ball 2? How confident are you all heading into these playoffs that you got the bats, you got the pitching to make a run?
I think as long as we play outlaw baseball and the same baseball we've been playing all year since the beginning when we were 8-2 at one point, I think we just need to play our game and see what happens. I think we have a good chance.
Burnsworth going to go down swinging on the fastball by Montagnais. And Colton, what are you seeing on the movement from Montagnais' pitches as he's gone deeper into his outing?
It looks like he's got a pretty good slider, and it looks like he knows how to mix well. And usually with a college pitcher, that's what you got to do to be good at this level. So, it looks like he's working well tonight.
Now Nick Delvecchio going to hit. He's in the 10 spot for Keaton Mark and Josiah Aska tonight. You gave him a shout-out for their work on the infield dirt, but in terms of being your actual coaches this summer, what have you learned and what are some of the things you've taken away from being here?
I've learned a lot of things. I want to start by the consistency,
Grounded a short, fielded to first in time.
I think these coaches, they lead by example, not necessarily just by what they say. But, it's really special when you have coaches who every single day they're out here an hour or two before us working on the field, and they're always out here. If you want ground balls, they'll hit you some. But just the fact that they're here way before us every day working on the field, that's just special. I'll drive down the hill sometimes behind the field and see Josiah working on the mound, and, it's summer ball. He doesn't have to be doing that, and, it's just really special that he is. So, shout out to both of them, great coaches, and, I'm super grateful.
To the 6th inning we go. DiamondDawgs, 2 runs on the board, and the Outlaws looking to keep things where they're at here moving forward. Top of the 6th inning, and for the Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs, it's going to be 5, 6, 7. Here to bat against Dan Bello, Colby Smith, and Colton Harrison back here with you. And Colton, you were talking about how grateful before we broke here for our quick little break you are to have Keaton and Josiah as coaches. How grateful are you, how thankful are you to have this great group of teammates around you that you've had this summer?
You know, it's special. You know, everyone out here just, you know, we appreciate each other, and we know that, you know, we're giving up our summer to come out here and get better at baseball, and I think that's special and something that shouldn't be taken for granted. And, you know, it just makes it even better when you got coaches who, you know, have the same priorities as the players, you know, just out here to help us get better. And, you know, there's nothing really more you can ask for.
So the count going to drop 0-2 here on Ethan Hughes. Bello back out for his second inning. Worked around a walk and a fielder's choice last inning, and now this will be a ball. Thought initially it had plunked Ethan Hughes on the back of the leg. Looked like that was just a pitch that got away.
Yeah, at first I thought it hit him too, but, you know, it looked like it just went slightly behind him.
Swing and a miss as he goes reaching for that fastball down and away. Hughes going to be retired as the first out of the Mohawk half of the 6th. Justin Hurd going to be next up for the DiamondDawgs. He's 1 for 2 on the evening. And Colton, Justin Hurd is a guy, probably one of the more underrated players in this Mohawk Valley lineup.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they got a good squad this year, it looks like, and I don't know how they've been in the past, but seems like every time we play them, they roll out guys that are, you know, they're great baseball players. You know, they're a tough team to beat, and, you know, it looks like all their hitters can hit.
This Mohawk team finished 26-17 a year ago, so right up there again. They lost in the East semis to Utica East semis last year to Utica before Utica turned around and lost in the East final to Amsterdam, who went on once again win the championship. As they've won 3 of the last 4 here in the league. 2-0. Going to come on in low, ball 3.
So Utica made the championship, the semifinals technically last year?
They were in the East semis technically.
So where was Saugerties lost out?
Saugerties lost to Amsterdam in the first round of playoffs last year, yeah.
So are they 3rd seed then? Saugerties?
Last year, yeah. Justin Hurd going to draw the walk, and so he'll be on base with 1 out. And definitely a lot different this year with Saugerties taking that 2 spot.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it sounds like last year that would have been a hell of a game. You know, Saugerties and Amsterdam, you know, we've played them a few times, and, you know, that's just raw talent. They got a lot of Power 5 guys, and, you know, they're just really good baseball teams, both of them.
That one will sail on in high to the hands of Pauline for ball 1.
I will say, though, I think Utica is a little bit underrated. You know, I think they don't really get a lot of, you know, I don't know how to say it, but I think they're a lot better than people think. You know, they got really good arms, you know, always rolling out guys who throw pretty hard and have good off speed. So, you know, they're similar to Mohawk Valley, just a good baseball team.
Well, and being with the dugout you all last night, a bunch of the guys, especially listening to Jack Hopko and Brody Raleigh, they were talking about how uncommon it is this late in the season to see a team do what Utica did last night, use 6 different arms to get through that game. What was that like?
You know, it was weird. You know, I was in the lineup last night, and I don't think I faced one pitcher twice. I think I faced 4 at bat. I think I faced a new pitcher every single time, and that's definitely weird, but I think they're doing it since it's close to the playoffs, save arms, you know, and make the best push they can to try to win this thing. But, you know, it's something you don't see often in this level of baseball.
Bellows 2-2 pitch, right side in foul territory, and it clipped the screen, and so we'll do it again here on Pauline. And talking about this level of baseball, what do you feel like makes summer collegiate ball different from a pro-like atmosphere in terms of, you know, the connection to the fans, connection to the city?
You know, I actually think it's probably pretty similar. You know, obviously you don't get the amount of people as pro ball does, but, you know, you got the same people coming out here to watch you every night, and, you know, they get to know your names. And, for example, I was hitting the other night against I forgot who it was. Home game before Glen, so it might have been Mohawk Valley.
Yeah.
Mohawk Valley, and I had a guy right before I hit a sac fly sitting over there by our dugout. You know, he knew my name. You know, he was talking to me before my at bat, and he just said good luck. And after I hit a sac fly, you know, he said good job. And it's just it's really special that you got the same people coming out here watching you every night and really getting to know you.
Well, and as a player, do you think there's anything more that we all as an organization could do in terms of making the experience here better or anything like that?
Nah, honestly, compared to what I see on the internet and what I've heard from my friends, I think this is one of the more special places, especially having a guy like you broadcasting the games. And, one of the biggest social media things I've seen from a summer ball team since I've been in college at least, and I think that's really special. And I really enjoy the personal and, personal connection you have with the players. The interviews are really cool. My parents, my grandparents, all of them love that. So, I've been super grateful and nothing I can complain about, really.
I appreciate that. So the count 1-0 here on Levi McAllister. First and second with one out. Is that one going to come on in a bit low for ball two? Heading into this fall at Northwestern State, as we talked about when you were last on the broadcast, just recently having transferred, what are you most excited about?
I'm just excited to meet new guys and get to know Coach Bertrand. I've heard great things about him, like I've said in the past, and, I'm ready to build a connection with him and, just play for a guy who cares about his players. It's just – I think that's one of the lost things in college baseball nowadays. Everyone's so worried about the transfer portal, all these wins, this and that, and, you don't really get a guy who's really there for the players anymore that often, so I'm super excited.
Well, and in terms of educational stuff, what's your major, what's your end career goal?
Major is going to be accounting. It was finance at first, but when I transferred, they didn't have a finance major. It was just a minor. So I'm going to go in and do accounting and then, hopefully end up somewhere like my dad. He does private equity stuff, sales, stuff like that. And, he's one of my biggest mentors, and I think I can learn a lot from him in the business world.
So now it's going to be Mason Snell to bat. And in terms of transferring, how are you looking credits-wise for this fall?
Looking good. Everything transferred except one it was like a math lab, but other than that, everything transferred cleanly, and I'm on path to graduate in 4 years. Like, that was my plan to do so, everything's looking good.
In terms of finance, you a big math guy?
Love math. It's been my subject since I could, write a number. I've always been able to do math pretty good, and, I've stuck with it.
I'll have to hit you up for some tutoring in any math classes I take down in Florida.
Yeah, just let me know.
So the count going to be 1-1 here on Snell. Bases are full with one away as Bello broke that one in there tight and gets a called strike 1-2. Great movement on that ball.
Yeah, that was a good pitch.
Bello trying to get out of this jam with a score 2-0. Pauline actually picked up an RBI. He just singled back his last at bat as well as that one down and away, and the count draws even to 2-2. Now that you're in a 2-2 count with one away and the base is full, with this solid defense that you all have, you looking for a ball in play or are you looking for the strikeout?
2-2 count, but there's one out. If we can get a ground ball, it'd be nice, but, that's full. So you kind of, it's a tough situation. A walk scores a run and a single does too, but a double can hurt us real bad. So this is one of those ones you're hoping for a ground ball and hopefully get a double play.
So the count again full, one away. Bello trying to work out of this jam. Shot straight on back into the screen. And so Snell going to stay alive. Is a hitter, do you think a situation like this, bases loaded with one out, late game like this is one of those situations where it's like, I want to be in that spot?
Oh, yeah, for sure. This is one of those spots where, this at-bat right here could determine the game, really. Bases loaded. He just got an RBI walk, so, he's feeling good about himself. Good at bat. But, yeah, it's one of those ones as a hitter you prepare for and you're looking to get.
Pauline going to advance over to third. McAllister now going to be at second. And Mason Snell, the one who picks up that RBI. We are going to get some action going on down in the Oneonta bullpen. Top of the sixth, 3-0 DiamondDawgs game, and coming up later on in the seventh inning, we will take a look at all those other games going on around the PGCBL tonight. But back to the top of the lineup we go for Mohawk Valley. Diego Tavares going to watch one drop off that lower outside corner, and it'll go 1-0. Tavares has been on base twice tonight, a want single, and also has a fly out as the 1-0 called strike, and it'll draw back even. And Colton, in this last part of the schedule, Outlaws have been a little short-staffed on the pitching side of things. What's that been like for everybody to deal with?
You know, it's interesting. You know, usually towards the end we've had some of our relievers actually starting games, and you know it's weird on our side of things, but you know that's good for them as a pitcher. You know, they're stepping up into their role, and you know they've done pretty good so far. So hats off to them.
1-2 to Tavares, drops again off that lower outside corner. 2-2. You feel like Bello's just trying to paint those outside corners right now?
Yeah, I mean, bases loaded. He's looking for strikes that aren't over the plate. You know, hopefully hit some corners and get a strikeout or weak contact.
2-2 offering. Poked out towards left field. Coming on in. Dylan Millman going to drop in front as Burnsworth couldn't get to it, too. Everybody's going to advance 90 feet. Another scored, and it's now 4-0 DiamondDawgs. Tavares picking up the RBI on that one. And Colton, another one of those plays where it's like just finding that little hole and it falls in.
Yeah, I think that's one of those hits, you know, we haven't really been blessed with this year much. We've hit a bunch of balls like that, and usually they don't go our way, and then we hit balls 100 miles an hour that are also caught. So, you know, I just think it's just part of the game, though. You know, something will happen in the 9th inning, and we'll get one of those, and it'll come around.
First pitch to Luke Nomura, going to miss downstairs and outside for ball 1. And in terms of approach mindset, how do you change things or hope to get fortunes to go your way with plays like that repeatedly like you've talked about?
You know, those are tough for sure, and when you're on defense, that's one of those hits where you're like, you just wish you could have got there, or you wish never would have happened, because he didn't hit that ball super hard. It looked like he missed it, and as a hitter though, if you're struggling, or if you're hitting 400 and you get one of those hits, that just made your night. So, you know, he's probably feeling pretty good. It wasn't a barrel, but a hit's a hit.
Luke Nomura now on a 3-0 count. He's filling in for Cristino Tofano at shortstop tonight. Tofano, the batting average leader, has played in all the games against Oneonta this summer. Bello going to issue another free pass. And so now Keaton Mark going to walk out. And do you think this is going to be the call of the pen?
Yeah, it looks like someone's warming up out there. Either it's going to be the call or he's just trying to buy, looks like Joel Hayner some more time to get loose, but it might be the call.
Well, and you talked, I'll go back a second, you talked about relievers starting games here in this bad part of the schedule. How weird is that and how unusual is that?
You know, for example, I don't think Larry Lawrence Ellison, I don't think he started a game this year, but he's been good out of relief. And then to see him come out against Mohawk Valley and do great, you know, he pitched a great game and held us in there. You know, it's cool seeing a new guy on the mound every once in a while, especially when they get to start and go 4 or 5 innings, and, you know, it's special. And I think when they do really good like he did, I think that just makes it even better.
Brody Rasmussen next up here for Mohawk Valley. He's been retired in 2 of his 3 at-bats, also reached on a fielder's choice, which was his last time up. Last half inning, actually, in the 5th. A little daisy cutter over toward short. Carrera fields cleanly to Delvecchio. The turn to first, not going to be in time. And that will be an RBI for Brody Rasmussen on the fielder's choice, as it's now going to be a 7-0 game. So we'll go down to Ryan Frontiera and Colton, middle infield for the Outlaws this summer. What's been going right there?
You know, absolute dogs. You know, Matt Carrera, I think I talked about him when I was on the broadcast at Glens Falls, and I honestly think he's one of the best defenders and hitters I've seen in a while. You know, he knows how to hit. He's one of the best hitters on this team, and I think once he's done with junior college, he's going to end up at a great school, hopefully a really good D1, because I think that's what he deserves. And then we got Nick, you know, really close with me and Marco, and he's just a really good guy. Whether he goes 0 for 3, 3 for 3, 1 for 2, he's always got a smile on his face. And, you know, he's just one of those guys, you know, you want to have in the clubhouse. He's going to be there to lift you up, and he's just always there for you. But he's a really good baseball player too, and that's what makes it super special.
So the count now 1-1 here on Ryan Frontiera, and he's going to chip one off the bat, just a few feet shy of the left-handed batter's box, and so it'll be 1-2.
Another thing about Nick too, this past year he got to play in the regional game when LIU played. You know, they made the regionals this year, and I'm pretty sure he played against North Carolina. Showed me a picture, him next to Vance Honeycutt, who's going to be he's going to be really good, and he's probably going to play Major League Baseball one day. So I think that's a really cool experience for Nick.
1-2 to Burnsworth at third. A backhand high throw to first. Armstrong down and not going to be in time with that tag. And so now that 7th run is scored, and the DiamondDawgs putting together another strong inning. Burnsworth is going to get charged with an E5 on that one. Colton, what'd you see out of that play?
You know, he hit it down the line. That's a tough play out of a third baseman. You know, it was pulling him towards the line, and he had to make a throw pretty quick to try to get him out. And you know, it's one of those tough plays. But you know, it's one of those plays that people like Manny Machado make look super easy. Though that's the difference in skill between us and them. It's pretty crazy.
Ethan Pugh's a pop-up out in left field. Foul ground gets caught by a man you said you're always confident making the plays, Dylan Millman in left field, which ends this top half of the 6th inning. But the Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs do add 5. To the bottom of the 6th we go, 7-0 DiamondDawgs, your score. Bottom of the 6th inning, back at it. Joel Montanay, surprisingly enough, going to remain in this ball game. And it's Matt Carrera, guy you were just talking about up the middle of the infield, who takes ball 1. Colton, tonight going to be Matt Carrera's last game. So if you got any nice words about him as a hitter, what do you got to say?
You know, he's an inspiring hitter, and he sets the tone early since he's usually the leadoff for us. And he just knows how to put the bat on the ball, whether it's inside, middle, out, up, down, ball in, ball out. He'll get the bat there, and he'll put a good swing on it. And like I said, one of the better hitters on this team, and, you know, it's going to be tough to have him leave.
That one going to be a called strike on that lower outside corner to Carrera. With one more out, this would be the longest outing of the summer for Montanay, as he's gone 5 innings twice, once against Watertown where he actually picked up a victory, and then in that walk-off 6-5 game against the Outlaws last week, because that one in the gap in right center caught by Pellion, and there's one down here in the 6th. And Colton, to see a pitcher like Montanay 3 times in a summer like this, where it's not too often a pitcher sees a team with how wide the variety is in scheduling so many times, how kind of weird is that, and what kind of things do you all keep in mind seeing somebody multiple times?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely weird. You know, like you said, we played him a lot and we've seen him a few times, and you just remember the pitches he has, and you know, you just gotta you gotta just keep your mind fresh, because you know he could come out with start you with a different pitch than he did last time and stuff. You just gotta see what he's doing this game and work with that.
1-0 to Armstrong, going to come on in tight, and it's ball 2. Dan Matafee, actually, his last 3 straight outings, including Wednesday night here against Glens Falls, were against those Dragons, and he saw Glens Falls 4 times this summer, just something that no starter in this division has had to do all year. It goes 2-1 now on Armstrong. And Dan Matafee, sounds like he's going to stick around here, pick up some more innings. What have you seen from him out on the bump this summer?
You know, he's just one of those guys who likes to get ahead early and fill up the zone. And I think my first game I played here in Oneonta, he was on the mound, and you know, I was very pleased with how he did. He's a real good pitcher, and I think he's got a good future at Holy Cross. You know, good guy too, great teammate. And he's one of the homies for sure.
Montanay's 3-1. Tapper up the first baseline, takes a skip off the base, and it's taken by Taveras for the 3 unassisted. And so there's 2 away, and now Jacoby Dale will get a chance to bat. That's another one of those balls where you were talking about odd hops. It takes a bad bounce, but of course it falls right in his glove.
Yeah, I mean, you never know what you're going to get down these lines here, but you just got to stick with it and see what happens.
Jacoby Dale, he's walked and struck out tonight, hoping he could get on base again, and going to take a first pitch strike. And Colton, it seems like all these fans tonight really into this one. Everybody's sticking around.
Yeah, I mean,
Taveras takes that to the bag himself, and that's going to end the half inning.
last home game of the year, people wanted to come out and show their support, and we appreciate that. And, you know, hopefully we can score some runs and knock off these DiamondDawgs.
To the 7th inning we go. 7-0 Mohawk. Still your score. Top of the 7th inning, new pitcher coming out of the pen for the Oneonta Outlaws, going to be none other than Joel Hayner. Joel was talking about it on the bus yesterday with Keaton Mark and Josiah Aska. Golden, the qualifications here in the PGCBL are a little fluked in terms of having a certain number of innings pitched, certain number of plate appearances per game in order to get on the leaderboard, and Joel actually just 1 out away from getting on that leaderboard. Do you think that 2/3 of an inning pitched per team game and 2.7 plate appearances is really high to make the leaderboard?
I think for a pitcher, I think that's up there, but I think if you're a position player and you play every day, what'd you say, 2.7?
2.7.
Yeah, I don't think that's too much for a position player if you're playing every day. But obviously, if you're not, then that's a lot. Considering the fact that most of us don't play every day, I don't think a lot of us are probably on there. Probably none of us, maybe Hopko or Dale. But on the pitching side of things, I think that's kind of a lot. It means you'd have to pitch a good bit. But hitters, like I said, if you're playing every day, it doesn't seem like too much.
Hayner going to work ahead in the count, 0-1 on Hurd. Batted ball out towards the left center gap. Millman over, and he shows the range, making that play. Dylan Millman, long run there, Colton. So a heck of a play by Justin Hurd in the gap. And in terms of the way that one came on in there and put out there towards left, what'd you see?
Yeah, it was a hard hit ball, and he took a beautiful route, first step back and tracked it down. Great play by Millman.
So there's 1 down here to start the 7th against Joel Hayner, who's actually appearing in a game for the 11th time. Called strike 1 in Major Pellion. And Joel Hayner, you've been in the field a few times for his outings. What does his arsenal look like? What's his velo usually sit around?
I'm not sure about his velo. It's probably mid-upper 8s, but I think he has really good off speed. And I always thought he's one of the better pitchers on this team. And, I think he's a Division I. He's at a Division II right now, but I think he's better and just as good as some of the pitchers I saw this past year. And I think he's a great pitcher, absolute great pitcher.
0-2 offering, going to sail on in high and tight to the hands for ball 1. Joel Hayner coming to the Outlaws from Lynn University, just wrapped up his junior year, so he's got one more year of classes left this fall. Rocking around out there now is 1-2, and tight to the knees for ball 2, and it goes to 2-2. How do you say the adjustment or in terms of difference between D2 and D1 arms is these days?
I think there's a lot of really good D2s, and Joel goes to one of those. We played a D2 this year, and I think there's a misconception. I think there's some D2s out there that are super good. For example, Lynn, St. Leo's. There's Tampa. There's my boy from UNO just transferred Rowan Watt to Mount Olive, where his dad coaches. They got a great program over there too. But I think D2 baseball is just as good in some programs as D1 baseball, and I think that the way things work now, there's good players everywhere. I don't think it is how it used to be, and there's talent D1, D2, D3, JUCO too. There's talent everywhere nowadays.
Levi McAllister with a can of corn to Jacoby Dale. And before we break for the bottom of the 7th, I do have a message to pass on to you from my mentor, Bruce Cooper, watching from Ardmore, Pennsylvania. He wanted me to tell you if you ever get bored with accounting, you got a future in broadcasting.
I appreciate that. I might look into it. It's a pretty cool job.
We're going to head to the bottom of the 7th. 7-0 Mohawk Valley, still going to be your score. Bottom of the 7th inning, Colby Smith and Colton Harrison here with you on Outlaws YouTube. 7-0 still the score in favor of Mohawk Valley. And Colton, hopefully Marco can get something started here.
Yeah, I'm looking for a double in left center out of him right now. You know, he loves left center. Hopefully he can get it done.
Down.
He loves going the other way, so I hope he can do it right here.
Down and away, that one went for ball 1. He's 0 for 2 to start the day. Trying to give these Outlaw fans something to cheer about in the home finale. Is a 1-0 from Montenay. Batted out towards right center. Reese and over Rasmussen going to look on up, and he's got it, and there's one down. Not exactly what you wanted.
Yeah, but it's all good. We'll get one more at bat hopefully tonight, and hopefully get a hit. And even if not, he had 2 really good hits against Mohawk Valley last time we played them. So he's been doing good. Fresh haircut too. Looks great out there.
Where's the go-to spot for Outlaw players to get their haircut around here?
I went to Legacy Barbers down on Main Street about a month ago, and then he was asking me where he should go, and I told him to go to the same spot, good spot. And I heard Zips, it's a new spot. I heard they're pretty good too.
So the count going to be 1-0 here on Brendan Connolly, and he's going to opt to take time.
But my boy Ethan Glossa, said he used to go to a Dominican barber all the way in Utica.
That one, a fly ball out towards right field, just in front of the signage. That one's caught by Pellion, and there's 2 down. Ethan Glossa, how much does this team miss him?
I mean, it's not the same without him, He's one of those guys you wish you could have in the clubhouse all day, every day. And, if he's listening, shout out to him. I miss him being my umpire partner, but, we miss him.
Glow's down there enjoying the Florida life right now on vacation in West Palm Beach with his family. Waiting a big swing and a miss, and he'll fall behind 0-1. Montenay certainly giving Mohawk Valley some depth tonight and some good innings.
Yeah, he's been pitching pretty good, and he's helping them out, saving arms for this playoff run. So, good for him. Hopefully we can get some more hits and score some runs.
The DiamondDawgs have been one of those few teams who've been able to beat both Saugerties and Amsterdam in the regular season. Is that one going to miss off that outside, and it'll be 2-1? What do you have to say about that?
It doesn't surprise me. Like I said earlier, they're a good team. They got good arms, and they can definitely hit. So, they got the recipe for success in college baseball.
Now with a quick stutter step, the 2-1. Tapper up the third baseline, played on the one-hop Frontera to first in the dirt, but it's in time. And so that will be a 5-3 as the Outlaws go down 1-2-3 here in the bottom of the 7th. To the 8th we go, Mohawk Valley, still a 7-0 lead. Top of the 8th inning, back here on Oneonta Outlaws YouTube. And we had Colton Harrison up here. Got to give a big shout out to him as he did a marvelous job as always. But now I got a special guest here for the 8th inning, Outlaws General Manager Tony DeLillo. Tony, how are we feeling?
Colby, I'm doing great. I just want to thank you for having me on this broadcast. I want to start off this by saying thank you for everything you've done for us this year. You've been great. You have a bright future. I look forward to seeing you do a lot of great things in your time here to come.
I appreciate it. Mason Snell came around at the first offering of the inning from Hayner, and the count's going to go 0-1. And Tony, tell me a little bit about your duties with the Outlaws. What are your primary jobs?
So I'm like a game day manager. You know, I try to keep the crowd as involved as I can in the game. We do some in-game activities, home run derby. We bring our mascot around. We do a little dance-off. Just things to keep the crowd entertained in between innings here at Damaschke Field.
Hayner ahead 0-2. Chet swing. Did he come around? No.
Ooh.
That was a tough one.
I don't know about that.
Well, and what's your favorite in-game activity that you've brought into the field here?
I enjoyed home run derby. We had a local kid about 2 weeks ago. He had 3 home runs. That was the most on the year for us. So that was exciting.
1-2 with a high fly ball out towards center field. Jacoby Dale races back, looks up, and he's got it. And there's one down.
He's good out there. He makes it look so easy. There's a lot of room out there, and he does a good job covering that space.
Well, and how do you feel like a good center fielder is an integral part of a team here at Damaschke?
With all that room out there, he's got to be able to make a read and make a play on the ball, because if he doesn't get it, it's going to go a long way and keep bouncing. He does a great job out there for us.
Well, and for you personally, you've been involved with the Outlaws for a long time. How do you feel like the organization is grown as a culture and continue to evolve over the years?
I think it starts with our owner, Gary Lang. He does a great job. He takes care of our guys. He takes care of the opposing team, and guys want to keep coming back. You know, I think we had something like 7 or 8 guys that played for us last year that came back and played again this year, and that just goes to show, you know, how good of a job Gary does with our players and our organization.
1-0 pitch to Tavares, called strike off that lower outside corner. And for all the Outlaws who are going to watch back later and hear this, hopefully we can all come back here and run it back again next year. Got a lot of guys who said they want to come back next year, so let's see if everybody's got their money where their mouth is and comes back.
That would be awesome, Colby. You know, getting back into the playoffs this year, which is great for us, but you know, I think you'll agree with me. We left about 8 or 9 games out there this year that could have gone our way and could have made a difference in the standings. And maybe next year we're hosting a playoff game if we bring a lot of these guys back.
Well, that was one thing that we talked about, Keaton, Josiah, Gary, and I before one of our rainouts earlier on this month about how, you know, you take probably half dozen of those games back, and yeah, we would have been hosting a playoff game here.
That would have been great because you know school's still out then. You know, we have a good crowd here tonight, and I think we could have had another good crowd for a playoff game.
Luke Namora with a fly ball that goes to the left to the Mohawk Valley DiamondDawg pen in right field, and so the count's 0-1. And it's been a hot minute since there's been a playoff game here in Oneonta.
Yes, it's got to be at least 4 or 5 years. So it's exciting times over here, and let's hope that these guys can go on the road and maybe win 1 or 2 games and make a little noise.
Well, the Outlaws Monday night, we've talked about it a couple of times already, going to be up in Mohawk Valley. And Tony, I know you love that drive going up north here in New York.
It's something. You know, I spent a lot of time on those roads recruiting, so it's a fun little trip.
Burnsworth to Armstrong, going to be the 5-3 put away. And Tony, we'll talk a little bit more about that recruiting when we come back in the bottom of the 8th.
Sounds good, Colby.
7-0 DiamondDawgs still going to be your score. Bottom of the 8th inning, Colby Smith and Tony DeLillo back here with you. And Tony, right before we went to break, we mentioned recruiting. You want to tell everybody a little bit about what you do?
So when I'm not here with the Outlaws, I am the offensive coordinator at Harvard College. I've been there 13 years now. We're Division III. We play in the Empire 8. It's a job I enjoy and I love doing every day.
New pitcher on for the DiamondDawgs, faces Jeremy Taggart here for Oneonta for ball 1. Jaden Fateman, a 1-3 record with a 10.96 ERA, 10 games played, 10 2/3 innings. As Taggart took a big rip and the count's going to go 1-1. What are some of your favorite things about being a football coach?
It's the bond I have. Along with being the offensive coordinator, I'm the offensive line coach, so I have a pretty good relationship with my guys, and I like being around them. You know, we do O-line dinners, we do O-line outings, we miniature golf, we go to the golf course, we're involved in the community and stuff, and I just like giving back to that as much as I can.
On Taggart, he has one of the 4 Oneonta hits tonight. Is that one going to miss up and away for ball 2? And Taggart happy he's able to stick around on that one. Fateman, again our count 2-2, nobody out. Is that one going to miss low and away for ball 3?
He comes with a tough angle there. It's hard to see.
Well, and we haven't really seen a lot of lefty pitchers this summer.
No. And this guy's a tough one.
So a payoff pitch is just 3-2. Going to miss upstairs for ball 4.
That was a good at bat. Good start to the inning here for us.
Well, and what do you think the Outlaws got to do here in these last couple innings to keep the fans involved?
They got to score a couple runs.
Well,
you got to piece together a couple hits. More importantly, good at bats.
A simple but cliche answer.
Yeah.
Is Dylan Millman going to dig on in? He's reached base once, and he's going to take a strike. And you said you've been at Hartwick College 13 years, so you've been around Oneonta a long time. What makes Oneonta special?
Well, Colby, it's my hometown. So I'm born and raised here. I went to high school here, and besides my time at college, I've worked here, my entire life. And it's just Oneonta. It's a special community, special town. What I enjoy is it's a college town. From August till May, we have 7,000 college kids that are running around town having fun, and our community embraces them, and they embrace our community. And then in the summer, we're a baseball town, which is great. I think baseball is the American pastime for a reason. So with the 2 baseball camps being one in Oneonta, one in Cooperstown, there's a ton of baseball, ton of families. So it's a tourist town, which is great as well.
A fly out to center for Dylan Millman on the 1-1. So now it's Owen Burnsworth. And Tony, local product is Owen Burnsworth, graduated right from Oneonta. How awesome is it to have so many local kids as a part of this program?
It's got to be great, one, because their families can come watch and play all the time, right? And then the other thing is people that, in the communities that have watched them play at high school, whether it's South Courtright, Oneonta, or wherever it is, they can come watch them play again. They enjoyed watching them play in high school. Now they get a chance to watch them play now for us.
1-0 in foul territory. That one's going to get caught by Diego Taveras, and there's 2 down. And how do you feel like that local connection is something that makes the Outlaws different from any other team in this league?
In the 10th spot, the second baseman from LIU, number 28.
It's like a family here for the Outlaws. It's a family environment, and keeping the kids local here, it just makes us be like a big family, which I think Gary really likes.
Nick Del Vecchio going to take a called strike on that lower outside corner. So the count going to be 0-1. Again, the Outlaws trying to plate a couple of runs here, make this exciting in the end. Is Del Vecchio, slow tapper right side of the infield, going to be scooped up by Hurd and fired to Taveras. Tony, it's been a pleasure having you on.
I appreciate it. Thank you for everything you've done for us this year, man. Best of luck at school, and I look forward to hopefully having you back next year.
We're going to head to the 9th inning here on Outlaws YouTube. 7-0 Mohawk Valley, still going to be your score. Final inning of the 2024 season at home. 7-0 DiamondDawgs your score. New pitcher out of the pen for Oneonta. Going to be the big number 26, Liam Blair, who we had as our pregame interview. A few days ago when we went to Mohawk Valley, he misses with ball one. Got to give a big shout out to Liam Blair. He's one of those guys who always out there putting in the work, always wants to throw, always wants to get better. Blair is just a great baseball player and great guy to be around as the count's going to go 2-0. His last outing was at Glens Falls on the 19th, so it's been a week. 2/3 of an inning, 1 hit, gave up 3 runs, all were earned while walking 2 as he only faced 5. So a tough outing for him, looking to bounce back. It is 2-0, going to be low in the dirt for ball 3. Outlaws hoping that they can make things interesting here in this 9th inning, put a few on the board when they get back to the plate in the bottom of the 9th. But first, the DiamondDawgs have to be retired in this top half quickly. 3-0 offering. Called strike on that lower outside corner, and it'll be a hitter's count for Rasmussen at 3-1. He's probably going to have the green light. Blair just recently transferred, I found out the other day. He's going to be going to SUNY Oneonta this fall as his 3-1 called strike, and it'll go 3-2. We had a discussion up there at Little Falls about how tough the transfer process actually is nowadays and all the paperwork and all the forms and all the mental stuff that goes into it, because it's not like it's an easy decision. Payoff offering, skips in front of the plate and rolls to the bat stop. Taggart rushes for this one. Rasmussen took the big turnaround first, but he'll stop there. So he'll be on base, courtesy of the walk, here to begin the 9th. So Brony Rasmussen going to be on base for the 3rd time tonight. Both times prior were courtesy of fielder's choices. So he's going to come out of tonight with no hits to his stat line, breaking up a 3-game hit streak for him. Ryan Frontiera, the next DiamondDawg to bat, is Blair going to miss in low with a ball 1. Frontiera 0 for 3, also has reached on an error tonight. Blair trying to work this inning as quickly as possible as he rots around his 1-0. On the move goes Rasmussen. Taggart with a gun throw to second, and it's going to be late. Great throw from Taggart behind the plate. Just a split second too late as it's 1-1. Blair with a bit of a rock around out there is now his 1-1. Going to skip up off the plate for ball 2. So the count now 2-1. Ethan Hughes will bat behind Ryan Frontiera in this 9th inning for Mohawk Valley. Blair sets his 2-1. Going to come on in high for ball 3. And so 3-1 pitch. Called strike on that lower inside corner, and it runs full. Brony Rasmussen advancing over to second base, courtesy of the stolen bag after his walk. Now Blair 1 strike away from retiring the cleanup hitter in Steve Luby's lineup. On the move goes Rasmussen to third. Is that one going to miss high and away? Stolen bag will be taken by Brody Rasmussen, and it's going to be runners at the corners here for Mohawk Valley with nobody out. So Jeremy Taggart going to walk out and take a mound visit to see Liam Blair, which probably isn't a bad decision. Settle him down out there and hope that Blair can strike on back with a couple of strikes here, no pun intended. We will take a quick look at the PGCB out-of-town scoreboard, as we didn't do it in the 7th inning like I've been doing these last couple of games, but we'll hit it now. Top of the 8th inning out in Jamestown, 7-4, Mutt Dogs have the lead non-league game between Buffalo Diesel and Niagara Falls. The Americans posted they got the win, so that's a 7-inning non-league contest. Watertown, a 10-0 victory over Boonville in just 7 innings at home tonight. So, said that things could shift in the East Division in the 4-5. Rapids win on Utica loses tomorrow, and Watertown beats the Outlaws on Sunday. The Rapids would slide up and be the 4 in the East Division, and Utica would be the 5. So, could see one more change here on this Eastern Division side of the bracket. Hughes down in the count, 0-1 here to Blair. That one going to plunk him on the elbow, and Hughes will get first. And so the bases are going to be full here for the DiamondDawgs. Justin Hurd going to come on up next. Other scores, bottom of the 5th up in Amsterdam, and the Mohawks an 18-2 lead on Glens Falls. Bottom of the 7th, the Newark Pilots a 7-1 lead on Auburn. Top of the 8th out in Geneva, Pioneers on top of the Red Wings 5-2. And again in Saugerties, seems like they've only played the Albany Baseball Club lately. 9-1, the Stallions have the lead in that one. So the base is full for the DiamondDawgs with nobody out. Nobody's throwing down in the Oneonta pen, so this is Blair's jam to work out of. Justin Hurd has scored 2 runs tonight, also has a pair of stolen bags and takes ball 1. Liam Blair having a hard time finding the strike zone here for the Outlaws, hoping that he can pump in a couple and get them back on track. 1-0, called strike on that lower inside corner, and it'll go 1-1. 8-4, the hits in favor of Mohawk Valley. Each team has an error apiece in the field in this contest. 1-1 from Blair. Going to miss high and away for ball 2. Bats being waved around by Justin Hurd. Outlaws going to have 2 more games here in the regular season. Is that one again going to miss for ball 3? Tomorrow night we'll be up at Glens Falls. So from Eastfield we'll have pregame live at 6:45. First pitch in the final meeting of 24 with the Dragons going to be at 7 o'clock. And then on Sunday, our final game of the regular season is at Watertown as the 3-1 going to miss on in for ball 4. And that will walk in a run as it's now 8-0. So Justin Hurd going to get an RBI walk. Is Brody Rasmussen going to come on in to score? Frontier advances to 3rd. Hughes will be at 2nd. And now, of course, Hurd after the walk going to be at 1st. So Major Pellion going to bat here for Mohawk Valley. 1 for 4 on the game as that one skips off the plate and going to roll up the 3rd baseline for ball 1. Levi McAllister and Mason Snell will bat behind him in this half inning. The DiamondDawgs entering in 23-15-3 is the 1-0 going to sail on in high for ball 2. Outlaws starting to get some action down in their bullpen, it looks like. Is now Blair with his 2-0 off the lower outside for ball 3. Still the bases are full with nobody away, and already 1 run is home in this half inning. 3-0, swing and a miss. Hopefully Blair can strike right back with a couple more of those as it's gone to 3-1. Now the 3-1 high and in for ball 4, and that will walk in another run. Kean Mark is going to come out of the dugout and try to settle down Liam Blair. We'll see if he is going to go to the bullpen. And it looks like he is. So here in the 9th inning with the bases loaded and nobody out, Keaton Mark, another call to the Outlaw pen, and we will be back. Certainly not the ending you want to your home schedule here in 2024, a position player in to play mop-up duty, but that's what we got for you. 9-0 score in favor of the Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs, and a man who's wanted to pitch all summer, and there's been a running joke on this team about Jack Bateman taking the hill, and now it's actually come to reality. Catholic U's Jack Bateman taking over the pitching duties here for Oneonta. Bateman has not pitched since his high school days, which really wasn't that long ago, but he's going to be going into his sophomore year, so it has been a minute. He sees Levi McAllister, and his first one going to go to the bat stop, and so it'll be ball one. Now the Oneonta bullpen is totally empty, so it's going to be on Jack Bateman no matter what to get the final 3 outs and end the Mohawk Valley time at the dish. Count will be 1-0 here on Levi McAllister. And again, behind him, it's Mason Snell as we're at the 8th hole. That one came on in high for ball 2. According to a couple of the Outlaws relievers, when Bateman's been cranking it up down to the bullpen some and just having some fun, he's sit around mid-80s, so certainly not pitching slow as he misses with another high and in. And that's ball 3. So it'll be 3-0 here on Levi McAllister.